Yeah, they accept it.
It's very small. But you are the South.
To Richmond's African burial ground.
Welcome to Richmond's African burial ground.
Is that what Mike Check means?
Yes. Occupy Richmond.
All right. This is Lynetta Thompson.
This is Lynetta Thompson.
I'm the past president of the Richmond NAACP.
The past president of the Richmond NAACP.
And I am here.
And I am here.
Oh, you gonna repeat everything I say? Because it's important that we unify. To make the changes that needs to happen. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. So we are on the African burial ground of 1750 to 1816.
We are on the African burial ground from 1750 to 1816.
This was the first and only, this was the first municipal burial ground where black people were permitted to be buried in the city of Richmond when it was a village that existed on the other side of Shockoe Creek, which means on the other side of those railroad tracks. This is the
Keep going.
This was the first burial ground.
There you go.
This was the first burial ground.
That's right. All right. And so it's notable for that. It is notable that this was the place where black people were buried. Eventually, it became the only place they were permitted to be buried. By the time it closes in 1816, it has seen a remarkable history. And one of the most significant pieces of that history is that Gabriel, who along with hundreds of others attempted to lead a rebellion on August 30th of 1800, gave his life on the gallows on this spot. There were 50 trials that resulted from that attempted rebellion. 26 of the co-conspirators, and I have to say how proud I am that they conspired in this way, that faced execution, and that some of them died here and many of them died in places closer to where they lived in order that the state could set an example. What people don't know as well is that because of that rebellion, because it took place at the height of the Haitian Revolution, because there were many refugees in Virginia, because Jefferson was running for president, they were freaked out. This election meant everything to them, and they needed to squelch as much as possible the widespread, highly organized, what would have ultimately been a successful rebellion as quickly as they could. But word continued. And one of the ways that word continued was that Gabriel left a widow who was carrying their son. She was sold south. She gave birth to that boy. And every generation of that family appointed a historian to carry the story forward. When we put up the marker in 2004 that overlooks this site, we had the descendant, a living descendant of Gabriel, as a part of the program, and he was able to share that part of their history. This burial ground represents part of the early aspect of Black Virginians or Black Richmonders for this city. when you travel from this burial ground through that tunnel to the other side, you will be at the site of the old Robert Lumpkin's jail. That was one of many very large slave trading complexes that represent what Richmond evolved to after the end of the transatlantic slave trade. When that ended in 1808, the ramping up of domestic slavery ramped up to such an extent that Richmond became the epicenter. When I was in Charleston this week, there was a map that showed that there was little tiny trails leading to Richmond, but big fat trails leading from Richmond all through the Deep South, because it was through here that most people in the 30 years leading up to the Civil War were sold into the Deep South to the newly acquired territories that came from the Haitian Revolution having been successful. So it's successful. It's the first black colony to overthrow its European colonizers in this hemisphere. But the Haitian people have been paying for it ever since.
Absolutely.
And indeed.
So it's important to understand that when we are talking about this burial ground and having our feet in this place, we are talking about our relationship to the world. We are talking about the diasporic experience of African people and the people affected by that trade ever since. So we start here in this 3 acres of the 9-acre park. We move through that tunnel to the Shockoe Bottom of the 19th century and the height of that slave trade. And then from there you move out into the rest of Shockoe Bottom and into the rest of this city that owes its entire history to the way that it got started on these spots where your feet are right now. We took this on because we thought that Richmonders needed a hero. It seemed that Richmonders didn't realize that Gabriel was not simply a failed rebellion leader, but that he gave his life in order to make that stand for the freedom of his people that others have continued to follow and act on to this day. And I wanted to turn it over to Lynetta. Okay. Because Lynetta has a wonderful, she has a wonderful connection to her work with the community.
Taking everything that Anna just said, our fight is that it needs to be a larger footprint, just displaying what she just said, because we're in a fight that they only want to narrow it to here, a building, and not to show the whole epicenter of our experience. They want to not speak on that. And it's up to us, it's up to the community, again, for us to even talk about our history, because again, our history has been stolen. We don't know our history to that degree. Even in my own, I'm a Richmonder, I've been living here for 61 years. And within the last few years, I've learned more about Shockoe Bottom being the epicenter of the slave trade than any other time. And again, we have developers that's coming in, of course, genociding the community to move. Even if we move out, our history cannot be moved.
That's right.
But it needs to be displayed.
That's right.
And that's our fight. And that's why if we don't talk about it, we can't expect them to talk about it. Okay, so that's why it's so important. I'm so excited that Phil and Anna and a lot of other organizations have taken it on, because again, when you don't have the coverage, you don't get to get your message out. So it's important that each one of us become that voice.
And so are you planning on a building that somehow tells the story where people can visit and hear the story more consistently?
The building, as well as just displaying the different landmarks in this area, yes.
It's a 9-acre memorial park that we're promoting. Yeah. So what I wanted to do at this point is, because we want to give you the opportunity to connect by placing your ancestors' names in the container that I provided here before. So in order to get that started, what I would like is to first, it's customary to pour a libation, but before we get started, we ask permission of the elders in the room. And so I would like to ask permission of Queen Nzinga for us to do this libation today and carry on. Thank you. I would like to, at this moment, recognize some people who are here. This has been the United National Anti-War Conference of 2017. So among you, obviously, are people from here, people from around the country, and people from around the world. I would like to recognize a local individual who ran for office in this last election. He wanted to be a delegate to represent the district. His name is Alex Mejias. He's a powerful young man who is working on some really significant issues in our community that has not had an active elected official take on in a long time. He did not win this time, but it was his first time, and he got 24% of the vote. And he endorsed the Memorial Park. Exactly. I also would like to recognize we have a group of visitors who are from Eastern Europe who traveled here. We visited them 2 springs ago, and I'd like to recognize them because they took the trouble to come all the way to Richmond for this. They actually promoted Choco Bottom in their countries. Matthias Benyik is one of the people who's here. You have your sign too?
Yes.
Yes. Just like that. Hungary supports Choco Bottom. All right. Where's everybody else? Where'd they go? She has to be here. Or they can wait till after the libation. Come. Okay.
Ukraine supports Choco Bottom.
Alexander. А где наша Людмила?
Where is Ludmila?
Где остальные?
Okay. All right, does everyone have their paper ready? Everyone have their ancestor name ready? Okay. Come. Where's your sign? Yes.
Russia.
Okay. So that you can see where they came from.
Odessa.
In order to support peace, no war, and Choco Bottom. Thank you.
Yes.
Hold that pose.
Thank you.
All that. Good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Матиш.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Look, I've been here.
Матиш.
I will film this. Come here again. I want the picture.
Venezuela, sí.
Racismo, no.
Иди сюда, стань лучше.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
One more. Very good. All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
One more person
Yes.
from Ethiopia.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
We support as a population.
Yes.
I forgot to write it down. This is Oromo.
Here.
Thank you. Do you ever come with?
Something that people, well, you all know. You were at the conference. I don't have to tell you. Thank you very much. Yes.
So, solidarity greetings from the Philippines, and assuring you that the message of this conference and what our activity today will be shared with Filipinos here in America and back in Manila in the Philippines.
Pretending to be skilled at this, but I'm going to pour in 4 directions. And if everyone can, just simply come up and drop your ancestor name into the box as I am pouring the water in the 4 directions. Okay? Can all hear that? Okay. All right. All right. See the hose? Yes. Oh, you have one. Go ahead. Come on up.
Can you respond with Ashe?
Ashe.
And tell them somebody drops up in the box.
Ashe.
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 All right.
Oh.
Ashe. All right. Is that it? Everyone come up.
Ashe means so good.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Are we good?
Ashe.
Okay. All right. What?
Ashe. Well, she did a crane, didn't she?
Yeah, she did a praise.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So because we really do need to move at least that way, I want you to understand that you are free. You are even free to participate as attendants at this event. It's open to the public. But this whole area is the burial ground, and then go through the tunnel there to the other side, which is the Lumpkins jail site, and look at the markers and read and enjoy, and take pictures and take these memories with you as a part of the struggle for peace and justice, knowledge, truth, power to the people, right?
Power to the people.
Power to the people, right? All right.
Good.
Thank you.